Welcome. We're going to spend a few minutes today with Bruce Willard, the founder and president of A+ Firearms Training. Thanks for joining us today, Bruce, and talking a little bit about firearm training. Explain to me what you do.
What do I do? Well, what I try to do is give people proper training to be able to handle firearms safely, and give them the training so that they can do well and have a very good quality skill set. That's my goal. I want people to, before they touch a gun, I want them to know what not to do and what to do.
And how long have you been doing this?
Oh, I've been doing this since officially since about 1997.
Sure.
And it's goes through ups and downs. It depends on what's happening in the world.
Sure.
And people see more of a need for the protection for themselves and family.
Sure.
Some just want to get into a little self-competition, target practice.
Sure. So yes, people get trained for all sorts of reasons for their own goals. And your training is an all-day training, correct?
The license to carry class is an all-day training. Goes from 8 o'clock in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon, and that is due. The class is the NRA Home Firearm Safety, but I have added on a live fire segment because in my humble opinion, people need to know that they can fire a gun and the lead goes where they need it to go, because you are absolutely responsible for everything that comes out of that barrel. So they get to practice and they have to qualify.
Okay.
Not hard, but some people just don't have that kind of skill at all.
Sure.
That's what we provide.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, and isn't that really important? It's one thing to get the book learning, but it's another thing to get the practical experience of actually shooting a firearm and knowing what happens when you do that.
Yeah, it's very different whether you're shooting a long gun, such as a shotgun or a rifle. It's a big difference between that and a pistol or a handgun, because a handgun has a much shorter sight radius. It doesn't take much of an error to throw it way off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a whole different animal. And we just use little 22s. They don't need a big kick. They don't want to start out with a big kick. They want to start out believing they can do the job and do it right. They can get bigger guns themselves later once they get their license. But
sure. And then somebody gets a license and they decide they'd like to become more proficient. You run some classes for people who do have that kind of interest, correct?
Yes, we do. I've got 4 classes. It's just labeled very simply Advanced Handgun Level 1, 2, 3, and 4. Most people will go through 1 through 3 if they really want to get more proficient and get more self-defense protected. The level 4, half of it is a culmination of everything through 1 through 3 on command, and the other half of it is a crossover to a thing called Krav Maga, which is the Israeli close quarter combat training for their military, and it's tough, and not everybody wants to go that route. But I've got enough to get them to where they can protect themselves properly and learn the laws they have to follow, the basic laws, the skill the skill you pick up is things like you need to know about your surroundings. You need awareness. We teach that. We teach about checking around you. We teach about what do you do if you fall on the ground.
Oh, excuse me.
What if you fall on the ground? How do you deal with that? How can you protect yourself if you're on the ground? Well, if you've got a gun, you still can, but you still got to watch out what your backdrop is. You don't want to shoot and miss and hit somebody else or cause other damage. You need to know that. You set yourself up in some cases to make sure you have a good backdrop and nobody else gets hurt. The target, whatever your adversary is, the adversary is stopped. And then you can get away quickly if you have to. If you can get away, great. If not, then you take care of things.
Well, hopefully it never comes to that for anybody, but it's good to be prepared. And that's what you teach people to be. And if they want to, I'm sorry, if they just want to go out and do target shooting and that kind of thing for enjoyment and recreation, you're able to help them do that.
And I help them be able to do that through the sights and proper breathing and all the other controls that are necessary. And most of my business has gotten through referrals, so I must be doing something right.
There you go.
We have very high backdrops of berms, so if somebody falls down and gets pushed down by an adversary, they can still draw down on the adversary and shoot the adversary, and the lead will not go out of the range. It stays in because of 20 to 30 foot berms.
Great. Well, that's terrific. And if somebody wants to connect with you and get more information, you have a website, I believe.
I do, and I don't know if you can see it. But is that clear?
It is not. Can you just let us know what it is?
Yeah, I figured I'd try it to see what happened. It's A+firearmstraining.com, and it's APLUS firearmstraining.com. And on there, you'll find our contact number, you'll find the schedule, current schedule, and find a breakdown of all the classes, the costs. Everything is there. Feel free to call anytime, and we'll take care of any concerns or issues you have.
That's great. Well, thank you for sharing all this information with us today.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's been
All
a
right.
pleasure.
Well, that's great. Good information for people. So thank you, and you have a great day.
And you as well. We'll catch you down the road.
Absolutely.